Muslim and voting, read this before you vote. Stick to the principles, taqwa and ikhlas. It's a big trust and amana. Don't take it lightly, it's a huge responsibility. Choose the best candidate, not on rees. Stay politically aware, don't follow blindly. Scrutinize the manifestos, know what they stand for. Ask the right people and seek advice. Think holistically and rationally. Make dua to Allah for guidance.
Okay, my friends, a pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are locked on, those of you who are maybe having your lunch break at this point in time, we just would like to invite you to join our program here today simply because yesterday, which was Monday, I know for a fact that many of you were at the beaches, many of you were campaigning, many of you were doing special things with your families. Again, my friends, this program, Hardfacts, is your program, and many people call us yesterday and they ask us why we're not on the airwaves. So we told them that, because of a holiday and so forth. They say, we could have done the program because basically many of those people would have been with their phones and so forth. So again, my friends, we do apologize for not being on the airwaves yesterday. So today we're going to correspond, we're going to compensate for our yesterday show, and we're going to try our best, my friends, those of you who are locked on, to really and truly give you information that is most necessary at this point in time. The election fever is on. We just have approximately less than 1 week away. And the hours, the minutes, the days, it has been really and truly counting down. And those of you who are locked on, we just would like to invite you all to share your comments with us. 372-2129. That's the number that you can reach us in studio. 372-2129. And we have been moving around. We have been going to different areas. We have been going to Central. We have been going to South. We have been going to North. We have been visiting a lot of people, and really and truly, we have been asking questions. We have a lot of interviews. But again, if we identify and we really and truly show those interviews here, it is going to be prejudice against one individual party. And my friends, we don't want that, because we want, we really and truly want, people to understand where this country is at this point in time, and how each and every one of us we can make a dent when it comes to many things that has affected us in the past. And we're going to realize that, I tell you all something, there's something called change and there's something called exchange. And this is what really and truly we have to really and truly identify. Are we going to make a change, or are we going to exchange? And that is something that each and every one of you today, we want you all to join our program and stay tuned with us. And we're going to really and truly dissect the political scenario that is taking place in our country at this point in time. So my friends, welcome to our program. My co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldev, he is in yellow. I notice he's in yellow today. And again, my friends, that is really and truly important, because colors doesn't really matter. Color doesn't really matter, because sometimes we have been campaigning outside there, talking to people for our program Hardfacts, and people are telling us blatantly that here what, we are wearing this color, and it is because we are getting compensation for that. But we know for a fact that when we go when we go inside the voting, the area, the chambers there,
The ballot booth.
right? When we go in that secretive area there, it is we and our conscience is going to really and truly make that impact that Trinidad and Tobago needs. So welcome to our program again, Prim.
So thank you very much, our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, and a pleasant Tuesday. Good afternoon to all our viewers on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Facebook. We are here with you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. This week, probably the whole week, because of the election, heat up and that sort of thing. Bringing you, current issues, which is, top of the list right now is election campaign, the election countdown, the election meltdown. Next week Tuesday, by this time, so we would have known who has won the election and who is going to take office. All right, that is yet to be decided by the electorate, you, the voter, and that is one right you have, which is to exercise your franchise, your right to cast your vote to a political party or a candidate of your choice. Now, my friends, yesterday, the Imam and I and one or two of our staff here, we journeyed to the Southland, to the Maruga Tableland area, to the Debe Pinal area, the Siparia area, the Labre area, and a little further down. Was it Cedras you reached, man?
That is, close to
right?
Cedras, yeah.
And we have a lot of friends, and family and relatives also living in those areas, and we stopped and we had a long chit chat with them, and people side the road and the normal man on the street. And you would be surprised, you'd be amazed to know the type of responses that we got, and the type of information the people, their emotions they are expressing and that sort of thing. So as we delve into today's program, we will touch on those things a little bit. Now, while we were, spending our Easter Monday in the Southland, I pointed out to the Imam and other staff members that places such as constituencies such as Chaguanas West, Couva North, Couva South, Caroni Central, David Pinal, Siparia, these places, Imam, are what you call UNC strongholds. But the heavy campaign, the large-scale campaign, the millions of dollars that have been spent in these safe seat areas of the United National Congress, one may ask, a sober-minded individual may ask, is it worth it? Because those seats are traditional. They are die-hard UNC seats, so to speak, right? Thy kingdom come, they will remain UNC seats. But the type of campaigning, the amount of music trucks and listen to them, millions of dollars have been spent. My question is to Trinidad and Tobago is that why isn't the United National Congress focusing their energies, their monies, their funding into areas that are deemed to be marginal? PNM UNC hanging like this, so you can pull, you can win, you can woo the support of those areas to really, if you want to form the next government, to do that. You are not doing that. You are concentrated on your stronghold.
And exactly what Prem is saying, my friends. We even visited Central, that is Chaguanas East. And that would have been, we look at it at one point in time, that is when Mr. Hamid was there. It was PNM, and then both times you're going to realize that after that it went to the United National Congress under our dear friend Fazal Karim, who passed on. May God Almighty bless him, and Vandana Mohit at that second juncture there. And many times, we have been asking a lot of people have been talking, and you're going to realize it is really and truly a narrow race, because a lot of people are talking about, this is all what people are talking about. People talking about road, people talking about crime, people talking about infrastructure. That's it, finish. People are not even so much so, the unemployment, right? That unemployment aspect was really and truly not in the top 4 categories, but people were talking about unemployment and so forth. Now, my friends, as we continue our program here today, I just want to start off our program by one thing. Last week, Director, I don't know if you have that video, where Ministry of Trade and Industry and Commerce, that would have been the Honorable Paula Gopi Schoon, right? And I tell you something, when I saw that, Trinidad and Tobago, when I saw that exorbitant amount of monies that were mentioned in that article in one of the dailies newspaper, $27 billion was spent. And lo and behold, after really and truly trying to clarify and investigating on that, that would have been, you know how much? $27 million. And that's a big, big error. That's a big, major mistake, because a lot of people, my friends, would have gone with that and say, well, here what? The PNM again, you know, $27 billion spent here, and they give their friends and their family the money. But when we do the investigation, we got to realize, director, you have that shot, the videos? Where the newspaper put that, a big headline, and people went with that hook, line, and sinker. And lo and behold, it would have been $27 million in 10 years. And if you really and truly check it out, that is chicken feed compared to the kind of money that is required when it comes to SME, small medium enterprises in our country, Trinidad and Tobago. So I think that if that would have been an election ploy that has been used by certain medias to distract people from voting in one color, in one direction, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, that didn't work. Because I tell you something, when people really and truly understand clearly, it was not $27 billion as was carried on that large scale story on one of the daily newspapers. It was only $27 million. So for the records, those of you who are contemplating and saying, well, you know, the PNM do this and the PNM do that, I tell you something, I think that the media house that run that story should have retracted that story and put an apology on it. That's number one. And we're going to continue like that on our program here today. We're going to identify, because I tell you something, when you look at what is going on, the election, like one guy, listen carefully, Trinidad and Tobago. I talking to people on the ground. We talking to people, right? We outside here, we talking, we are moving around. And we are talking to people, and people are saying, you know what they're seeing in Facebook, Imam, so by so, we feel we're going to win. That means to say that the United National Congress is going to win. And what they are seeing a handful of bloggers going across there, identifying and building hate and, you know, causing mayhem and chaos and putting, you know, that. I tell you something, every time you go and you publish something that is hate-oriented, basically the attack which is directed to any sector of the population, those people are getting stronger. Trinidad and Tobago, understand what we are saying. They are getting stronger, and the gap is widening now for what? So that they're going to vote their political party, whether it be the United National Congress or the PNM. And we want you all to understand that. But basically at this point in time, we're going to realize that the campaign is on via the United National Congress, mainly via bloggers, and they are coming out, they are vociferous, and they are targeting and targeting and targeting. I want to tell you all something. Trinidad and Tobago, the Prime Minister of the country, the ex-Prime Minister, sorry, right? They had a meeting in Tobago. I think it was last week Friday. Those of you who looked at that meeting, you know, normally I would not look at the meeting, right? Simply because my mind has already been made up. And I tell myself, I say, why am I watching this meeting, right? And you know something, I look at Dr. Keith Rowley, message that he gave. And really and truly, he dissect that so much so that Farley, the guy who is contesting 2 seats up there, he has no place in politics, because blatantly they were saying so and so. And the Prime Minister, ex-Prime Minister, dissected and he put it across there. So when people were thinking that here what chances are the 2 Tobago seat will come United National Congress, I think that they had to rethink that after listening to Dr. Christopher Stuart Young.
Director, that point that the Imam is speaking on, I sent you a video where Prime Minister Stuart Young is speaking about, you know, referring to some UNC stronghold seats that are hanging on the PNM side. I don't have it. Okay, Prime Minister Stuart Young, I think it was Saturday, sorry. In Maruga, they held a huge, you know, political meeting there, and the Prime Minister was stating that Chaguanas East is hanging on the PNM side. All right, voters are swing voting, right? Maruga Tableland, San Fernando West, Sawa Barataria, Mayaro, and Toko Manzalina. Now these seats are generally UNC seats. Yeah. So again, bloggers who are paid to do their job. Do you know some bloggers are being paid $40,000, $50,000 for 2 weeks for the build-up of the election? You know, to give out misleading
false information,
right? And people are buying. The battle is being won in social media.
No, but
you understand?
Prem,
in social media.
Yeah, but that's it. Finish. It wouldn't be on the ground floor.
You understand? So again, as I was saying, that the UNC is campaigning heavily on their stronghold constituencies.
Yeah.
Here we see the Prime Minister, the leader of the People's National Movement, is saying Shagwanas East is in limbo, Moruga Tableland is in limbo, San Fernando West is coming to the PNM, Sawa Baratara, that's Saddam Hussein seat. Am I right? Right? And Mayaro, Toko Manzalin and whatnot. So where are we? Where are we?
So basically, Trinidad and Tobago, you and I, those of you who are locked on and watching here, you have the number there, 372, Director, put it up on the screen, 372-2129. You can call us, let us know what is taking place in your neck of the woods. Again, politics, politics, politics. That is on the headline. That is on the front burner at this point in time. And those of you who are watching on, I tell us something. This is an opportunity that you have really and truly to campaign positively. Campaign positively. It doesn't make sense you go across there and you bash this one, bash that one, because I tell you something, I am seeing the negative effect that it is causing when we go to certain areas and we are listening. And you know something, the divide is blatantly clear that they are trying to separate the African people and the East Indian people. They are trying, the bloggers, they are trying their best to make it be like that.
Caller, welcome to the program. Hardfacts. You are live, go right ahead.
Huh? Hello?
Yeah, caller, go ahead.
Go right ahead, caller.
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Yes, ma'am. Good day, good day. And you and Prim.
Yeah.
Good day.
Doing a good job as usual. Yeah, I just want to make a slight comment on, the election is on next week, Monday.
Yeah.
And we recently, we're in the area, the Moruga area. I'm a resident of Barako. And I was just getting a feedback on the ground that it seems as though the UNC campaign down there is in total disarray. Residents are complaining that for the past 5 years they have had no representation. The MP has been an absentee MP. She has not been working with the district, the residents in the district who have all kinds of problems. No water, bad roads, the usual infrastructure problem. And, it is really a great disservice to these loyal and supportive UNC members who all during the past decade has been blindly supporting the party, and yet they have nothing to show for that no representation whatsoever. And this was formerly, it has now become a marginal seat. With a difference of about 800 or 900 votes, and is every likelihood because of the disarray the party finds itself in that the constituency might go to the PNM because nothing has been done. Well, you all know whatever political party is vying to get the votes, they will make promises and so, but everything points to the fact that because of the poor representation, that it will swing for the PNM in Moruga Tableland. I don't know how you see it, but I think you should all pay a visit down there and get the real facts on the ground.
Caller,
thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, caller, thank you. Yesterday we were there, right? And I tell you something, when we were there, I went across there and there were 3 janaza. There were 3 funerals taking place at the Rochard Douglas Muslim or Islamic funeral at the cemetery there.
Yes.
Right? And we went there and we spoke to a lot of people yesterday. And they were a little bit disenchanted because information went out there stating that that cemetery was built wholly and solely by one enterprise. And you know something, when you look at it, the community made the effort, the PNM made a lot of effort and stride, and they assisted, and other people made some effort and strive, and they really and truly built that. And I think history was made yesterday in that cemetery where 3 individuals were buried simultaneously, one after the next. And I tell you something, we were there. We were there facilitating and performing the janaza for those people who died, those individuals who have died. So again, Trinidad and Tobago, really and truly, we have to understand this very, very clearly, right?
Now, Imam, while we were there yesterday, right, when you were you officiate and that sort of thing, I had the grand opportunity to speak to some of the elders, the elders in the Islamic community in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the gentlemen, I'm not going to call his name, I'm not going to show his picture, but I have the footage live. He has not to be shown, He was saying that the time when that land was allocated and it was being, graded and that sort of thing, the former Prime Minister, I think it was, yes, the government, which was the People's National Movement, they came there with the bulldozers and the backhoe and whatnot. Now, the main point I want to make from his conversation is that the Islamic community also, right, poured in a heavy sum of money, to the amount of somewhere $2 to $3 million to assist, right, in the construction, building, and whatnot of that facility. And that, trying to be good, that is a beautiful, beautiful facility. It is really, really nice.
People asking right now how we can make some sort of appointment so that we can get our family, our loved ones there. Now, there's something. PNM did some work there, and they did a tremendous job when it comes to establishing, and the foundation work was done by the PNM, whether we like it or not. Some of you mightn't like it, some of you might like it, but I tell you something. Initially, it was supposed to be done by the United National Congress, but again, they held back. I don't know for what reason, because of documentation and so forth. They held it back. And I tell you something. When we went campaigning 5 years ago, I remember 10 days before the campaign, we were there lambasting the PNM. And we have footage. And those of you who feel that, this station, Sentinel Media Broadcasting, is a jokey thing and we come here to really and truly Mickey Mouse. No, we were there. And while we were campaigning the PNM, right, the 3 or 4 days before the election, the PNM came and they initiated work on that cemetery. And the Imam could tell you about that. So no one individual could say, well, here what? We alone do this. It was initiated by the different parties, but the majority was done by the government in power to really and truly establish that cemetery and have it functioning like what it is today. Right?
No,
so we're not blowing any horn for anybody. But nobody could come and say that they did it wholeheartedly. We know for a fact that the PNM initiative.
Can you flash that video again? It's a 7 seconds video. Can you flash that video again? Trying to take a look at the parking facilities. It is look at the facilities of that place. It is so beautiful. You have a nice ground to walk on, Imam, and you have a lot of area, where the dead can be laid to rest. Expansion. And this is the area of prayer. What do you call that area, Imam?
That's the area for Janaza.
Right. You have that area. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, more so the citizens of Shogunas West constituency, whatever be the outcome of the election, whoever wins Shogunas West, Sentinel Media Broadcasting, we are appealing to that individual, and the government would be that would be of the day. You see this cremation site here in Felicity? We would like to have that upgraded to some level of respectability on behalf of the Hindu community. For too long, we have been lamenting, and our people, when rainfall, the mourners, when they carrying, you have to carry the dead on your shoulder and that sort of thing. You're walking in pothole in water, and there's no sheltered area, there's no proper seating, there's no lighting, there's no parking area. It is an eyesore, and that is holy ground, just like
just to continue what Prim's saying, right? My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, very, very importantly, we are seeing promises. Pull that clip on the promises that is being made. We are seeing manifestos and promises. But I tell you something, if you don't have proper representation,
that is what I'm talking about.
None of those. Director, you have the clip? Yes. So those of you who are locked on, really and truly, the same thing went down. You have a member of parliament, and that member of parliament is there for 5 years. Whether you are opposition, whether you are minister in government, you all have to serve the people. Now, I tell you something. I am telling you this. If I am a member of parliament,
you are not elected to only serve those who you think voted for you.
And not only that, if I am a member of parliament and we are in the opposition bench, right? I would connect with my people. I would connect with the grassroots people. I would connect with the ground floor people. And ever so often, I would champion the cause of my constituency.
That's what you're saying.
And that is not happening.
And a blue Falcock you would not see.
We're not seeing those things.
Areas.
You understand? We're not seeing those things. So my friends, those of you who are locked on, we have a caller on the TikTok live here. We have a guy by the name of Rupchan there. And Rupchan is asking the question, talk about the $27 million that disappeared. Now, money wasn't disappeared, Mr. Rupchan. What we saw an erroneous article, right, that went against the Ministry of Trade, where the newspaper article said $27 billion, right, was allocated by that ministry and given out. But when we
no
do,
ministry could receive 27 billion.
right,
when the national body
and you know something, the thing about it, I think the Minister of Trade, Miss Gopi, Paula, I think she put out an article saying, well, it was not 27, but even that article and all was supposed to take front page. That would have been an issue, because I tell you something, there are people who still thinking that money, $27 million, like the caller, the texter is saying here, 27, talk about that. We are talking about it, but that was spaced out for the past 10 years. So that would have been approximately $2.7 million. That was really and truly handed out to the SME, the small, micro, medium-sized enterprises, and that would have been chicken feed. I myself feel that should have been about $50–60 million. Because if you have micro business and you have small business, you want to invest in those business to produce, whether it be poultry, whether it be milk, or whether it be anything food-based products, whether it be agriculture or what have you. I think that could have been a bit more, and we have not seen that. So again, for those persons who feel that the government of the day spent $27 billion, that was an erroneous story, and that has to be retracted. I think, because a lot of people go in with that hook, line, and sinker. That's supposed to be really and truly something that has to be dealt with. And I believe the Minister Gopi, Paula Gopi Schoon, I think she's taken that very lightly, because
you need to make a bold statement.
Really and truly, that statement is an erroneous statement, and that has to be corrected.
We're going to pause for a break now, and when we come back, we're going to deal with the quality of representation in this country. Let's take a break, Director.
Yeah.
Muslim and voting, read this before you vote. Stick to the principles, taqwa and ikhlas. It's a big trust and amana. Don't take it lightly, it's a huge responsibility. Choose the best candidate, not on reason. Stay politically aware, don't follow blindly. Scrutinize the manifestos, know what they stand for. Ask the right people and seek advice. Think holistically and rationally. Make dua to Allah for guidance.
762-2129. That's the
we are
number you
back-
can reach
We are
us.
back with you again, friends of Trinidad and Tobago, discussing, the main topic that is, in the air presently, and that is election.
Election, yeah.
Campaigning, and 2 words, UNC and PNM,
yeah.
nothing else. The others are totally irrelevant. Now, my friends, before we go into the characteristics of representation and what you would want from your MPs, Trinidad and Tobago. Last night there was a double murder in Mount Pleasant Road in Cunupia early this morning. There was also a drowning in Trinidad and Tobago. In our Saturday's program gone, the Imam appealed to Trinidad and Tobago.
Accident.
It is best that you stay home and bathe in your shower or buy a nice little yard pool, that kind of thing, and stay away from the drunk driving and that. Look what is happening. These 2 guys, 3 of them, sorry, they selling the coconut and they van load with the coconut and that sort of thing, and they're going to ply the trade, and they were ambushed by gunmen. 2 died and 1 is in the hospital fighting for his life. That happened this morning, right here in Cunupia. So my friends, coming back to representation. After Tuesday coming, so to speak, that is 1 week from today, today is Tuesday, we are going to have 41 people sworn in as MPs, Imam.
Yeah.
And that's a nice thing. It is a new horizon for our country, regardless of which party wins. The main point now is that we are driving at is, are you going to seek the same type of abnormal, dormant, inactive, inexplosive, how to put it, a representation from your MPs, or are you going to go out there, go to their office and give them some work to do? Because in Trinidad and Tobago, I don't see the MP. You understand? Me never see he. I don't know who he is, but you vote for him?
Yeah.
You understand?
And tell me
You need to be
yeah.
vista for
Yeah.
us. You need to come out. Don't wait on social media, Imam and Prem to do it for you.
And Trinidad and Tobago, hear me good, right? In one breath, those of you who are locked on, I want you all to really, the number is 372-2129. I wanted to let you all know something. In one breath, many of you are saying this, that you don't see your MPs, right? Correct or wrong? Here it is, MPs are being entrusted. They have been not entrusted alone, but trusted down your throat, that you have never seen them in the past. You don't know of their existence.
And you're going to vote for them.
And you're going to vote for them, and you're going to vote for an unknown. Because I tell you something, from our dissecting in our program on Saturday, you understand? I told you all the only time you would need a big banner, like what we are seeing here, is if that candidate is a newbie, and that candidate come into your area and you don't know the faces of that individual. What is it, the campaign that, really and truly costing hundreds of thousands of, and even so much so, millions of dollars to do what? To introduce a candidate when you have people in your own community who have been doing the work, but you don't give them the opportunity. You know why? Because you're scared that they are going to represent the people well. And you feel that, something, they might demote your standard. A lot of people today, when they go in a platform, let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, and I want you all to listen. When they go into a platform and they know a man could speak well, and a man could, really and truly handle his corner, they don't give him the opportunity to speak. You know what? They want somebody who, they are 50 cents, they want a 25 cents. They are $1, they want a 50 cents. And that is the kind of, the kind of situation that we are plagued with. When you look at people, you don't have, as I say before on this program, you don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have bachelors. If you really and truly are a people's person and you could represent, people want representation. A lot of people go out there and say, the Attorney General, she don't have mathematics and she don't have maths and she's a dunce and all these things. Let me tell you something. Credential don't make a man. What you have to do is represent the people in the best capacity. You are a constituency representative, elected. Work on that. But you know what? They don't do that. They don't do that. You know what? They don't have the time to see about it. As they are voted in, they forget you clean. I tell you something. You look at all the candidates. They don't have time because, the constituency is basically our own. You put a crapo in a yellow jersey. You put a crapo in a balize. They are going to win the election. In those 18 marginal seats, 19 marginal seats. And that's
Imam,
it.
that is going to put you back right where you are in the lower house.
Exactly.
In opposition.
And what we are seeing too, I'll tell you something. When you are in opposition, a lot of people come outside here, right? And listen carefully. Excuses that, we in opposition and we can't do nothing. then if you know Trinidad and Tobago, this is for every one of you. If you know that opposition cannot do anything,
Get out of
why? No, why you have an opposition? Opposition is what? It's a mama guy thing. Opposition can do things. Opposition is to ensure that the government of the day really and truly facilitate and disseminate and distribute equity, what they're supposed to be doing. So when you, Trinidad and Tobago, you come to give me a cock and bull story and telling me, you know, Imam, we in opposition, we can't do nothing. You know why you can't do nothing? Because you don't understand politics. We met one individual, right? And that individual, you know what? He's approximately 70 or 72 years old.
Mr. Barakpo.
Right? And let me tell you something. That individual, when I finished speaking to him, I said to myself, that individual should have been in parliament. A lot of people tell you need a housewife in parliament. You need a businessman in parliament. You need a trade unionist in parliament. You need people all around. Not only lawyers. Because you have a law degree or something like that, you feel that you are guaranteed a position in parliament. Let me tell you something. Roxo, Trinidad and Tobago, don't allow them. People want to be represented. Yes, you want to give representation. Know your ground floor. Like, for example, we are on this station here. We are living in Shogunas West. I could have told you how much pothole it have in this vicinity that I traverse every day. I could tell you exactly how much masjid, how much temple, how much bars. I could tell you anything like that.
How much cricket ground? How much burial
yes,
ground? How
you ask candidates who going up.
I'm not going to ask that. Ask some of your candidates who they put, they shove down your throat in your area for you to vote for. Ask them even how much schools it have.
And then,
how many, name the national schools, name the bars, name the savannas, and that sort of thing. How much Pagwa celebration, how much grounds celebrate around the land, whatnot. They can't answer because they're not from the area.
And the question, there's a continual prem saying, and they go ask the question, who we go put?
Wait, how people...
You know who we go put? After you did purging, you did internal purging, right? You do that. How, my friends, would you as an individual, how would you really and truly appreciate people who you don't know? You asking the question now, who we go put after you purge the different parties are being purged. You getting rid of the religious. You getting rid of the people who are in the sporting fraternity. You getting rid of people under the grounds that here what we want to get rid of them from what. That is the reason why there's so many crime taking place in our country. From the moment you remove capital punishment in the schools, from the moment you remove RI, religious instruction in the school, my friends, you open the window, you open a door, you open a gate for all these criminal elements to penetrate and disrupt the smooth running of society, because you feel that you intellectually, you are bright. And let me tell you something, you are bright, but you are the most stupid person that I have around in this country. So my friends, those of you who are locked on, feel free to call us. The number is 3722129. We don't want to trust down our opinions upon you. Call and tell us what is going on, whether it be for any party. Call and tell us. Let John Public know outside there. Stop hiding behind fake profiles and talking about this one, talking about that one. Come out in the open and let people know what is going on. You understand? Let people know what is going on, because that is our downfall here today. You know something? You eat our food and forget the rest. Let me tell you something. Everybody who understands politics will know this, that the United National Congress have 18 seats, PNM have about 19 or 20 seats, and that's basically two seats in Tobago. 2 seats in Tobago. Really and truly, that is the governing factor when it comes to what? When it comes to government in this country. But you know something, we fighting up each other. But Trinidad and Tobago, you're going to get a rude awakening this time around.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, as Imam, you extensively elaborated on that topic that I wanted to elaborate on, which was representation. You understand? So come this Tuesday, whoever is being sworn in to represent you, whatever problem you have, be it in a mosquito invasion, be it the invasion of rats and centipede or whatever have you, lack of water, electricity outages, you want to get a more police presence in your area and pothole, you go to your MP. You cast your vote for him. Do not let him sit there, come in that office once a week and sit there and feel he can lot off and everything is nice in Shogunas West or wherever you belong to. Give them walk through, because their job is to, Imam, to oppose.
Yes.
Or if you're in government, your job is to dispense.
And not only that, I tell you something, a lot of people have a misconstrued mentality and they believe the word opposition means to oppose. Yes, Grammatically, it would mean that. But the problem here is that oppose means to disseminate justice to all.
Take your cause to the parliament.
Yes, a lot of people.
And let the parliament, that August House, know what is happening in your constituency, and you are speaking on behalf of the 15,000 people who elected you.
But the thing about it, that doesn't happen, Prem, simply because when you have people who have in caucus and they tell you something, you know, what is happening in Chaguanas West is not important. What is happening in this area is not important. Let us deal with other issues that is more important. How would they know what is more important? Because, you know, my friends, because they are not benefiting from it. Once they benefit from it, it becomes important to them. And if they are not benefiting, it is not important. But I tell you something, this program, Hardfacts, is a real program. Let me tell you something, after this election, I tell you something, I may take 2 days rest. For the most 2 or 3 days rest. And we are going to come back here. We are going to join with the government of the day and save this country, Trinidad and Tobago, and lift the status quo locally, regionally, and internationally. That is what we are going to do. We are going to become ambassadors for this country, Trinidad and Tobago, my friends. So those of you who are locked on, a person on the WhatsApp just mentioned this, that if you all would like to see us better, maybe we are jumping up a little bit on TikTok there. You know what you can do, my friends? You can join us on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel, Sentinel Media Broadcasting, on YouTube, and I'm sure you're going to see it. You might see it better and more clearer. And we are live on Facebook. So you can go in there and you text your comments, whether it be negative, positive, or what. It will not degrade me, it will not bring me up, or it will not elevate me. I am beyond that.
Because I'll tell you something, Shanta, we come into nearing the end of the program, because the Imam and I, we have a very, very important function to attend approximately 1:45. Okay, 1:45. So we're going to wrap up now. But what I want to say is this. Come the 29th of April, which is Tuesday coming, Imam, we're going to have a swearing in of new ministers, new ministries, and, you know, and that sort of thing, board members and you know, chairman, and, you know, a lot of people. You know, what you call ambassadors will be called back to the country, new ambassadors will be dispatched to different countries and whatnot. And it's a whole hullabaloo, a whole change and interchange of offices and that sort of thing. But, let me tell you what remains the same. The bad road you're driving on, the crime situation is not going to disappear. Whether the UNC go into power or the PNL remain in power. You got to fight for what you want. Not so, Imam? Unemployment is there. We need to deal with these things. You have to get up and make your MP work. Make him work.
And as we close off our program here today, I listened to what Prem saying and all these things, right? And we're talking about new government and new ministers and things. I personally believe rationale is this, that what we are seeing on the ground floor is basically those ministers are going to remain right where they are. And maybe again, all we need to do is have a proper opposition. A proper opposition means to say that you have to be able to learn from your mistakes and mobilize your people properly. And don't go in hibernation, because what happened, we saw that twice already. We saw that in 2 general elections. After the election was lost, people go in hibernation and they come out after a little period of time and they try to breeze up. And you know something? They are going to benefit from the hike in price and salary rise increase. They are going to, the office staff is going to get paid. And their families who work in the office, and all these things, and tax-free loan, and all these things. And who? You and I, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to go back and do the same old, same old. So we are telling you something, that if the opposition cannot oppose, then we have to get a new opposition.
That's it.
Anybody's
That's
opposition.
what I was saying.
All right?
Yeah.
So again, thank you very much, Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to join. I tell you something, maybe every day we're going to have a program. Every day, with the exception of Friday. But again, this program is your program. Nothing we have said so far is untruth.
Or prejudicial.
Everything that we have said so far is the truth. You might feel that we're slanting more to the PNM. That's your vision. But I tell you something, there has to be reason. Anytime, listen carefully, anytime you find you have a customer in a business and you find that customer purchasing elsewhere, then you have to check yourself. You have to check yourself. A lot of people criticizing this guy, Victor Roberts, and saying this and saying that and all these things. But my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, you all have to understand these things. When your clients or your customers leaving your establishment, know for a fact that you have to check yourself. And that's supposed to be done by the opposition. They didn't do that. So again, those of you who are locked on, stay tuned to our programs that we are going to have live program. And on election day, we're going to have day-to-day program. Ball-to-ball commentary. We're going to have reporters running out, taken from different areas. Because again, the polling station that we will
you know something, Imam?
really be
Before you
targeting.
close,
Yeah.
I want to say something to Andy Bigo. The Imam and I, we have been extending invitations to different MPs from different political parties to come, to come to this station, and you advertise yourself, say what is your plan for your area and whatnot. It doesn't matter which party you are representing. You are welcome to Central Media Broadcasting. Why is it Imam nobody are taking up the challenge?
You know why?
Why?
Because when they come here,
Is it because we are going to ask the hard questions?
no hard questions. We're
What?
going to ask them the truth.
The truth.
What
yeah.
did you do in the past? Where were you? Because a lot of candidates,
is what they are
we
afraid
are
of.
seeing candidates representing political entities in this country, and my friends, when
I like that, Director. I like that. Hold
yeah, they were nowhere around.
These are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself. Answer me this. Do you know your candidates? Do you know them? Have you seen your candidates? Have you seen them before? Have you ever had any interaction with your candidates? These are serious questions, because after the election, when they win, you are, and your problems remain the same, you would have challenges. These are the people who you have to go to, who you have to meet, and to relate, and hope you get results.
Okay, so thank you all, Trinidad and Tobago. We want to thank our TikTokers here. Those persons, 2,700 people, they looked at our show, 2,700, as you can see up on the bar there. And they really and truly understand clearly what we are talking about. We are talking about Trinidad and Tobago. And I tell you something, I have been in movements around the country, and I would wish, and that's my closing thing here, before the election day, the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Stuart Young, and the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessa should have a debate in a zone, in a special
national
area,
debate,
national
yes.
debate, and discuss, because I tell you something, promises, and that has been made to the public, and lo and behold, just as how we said in this thing here, having budget, budget, debate, nothing has changed in the budget. So that's a waste of time. And I tell you something, manifesto was printed in the past, manifestos are printed today, manifestos will be printed in the future, but my friends, again, we would like to have, this is a political discussion that we're asking for. Sentinel Media Broadcasting is calling on the Honorable Stuart Young and the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessa to have a face-off, a debate when it comes to political issues, because it is the life of this country, Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you, and may God Almighty bless you and I, and keep us all safe.